time for weekend entertainment, the Mini Machine Shop Showgram. Got a email, not an email, but I guess a text or whatever. Heads up, here it is. Alright, here's the heads up. This guy right here, that spindle and the gear that goes on it, there's two people I know now that have had this gear weld itself on there. So I figured, I heard it twice, that's enough. I don't want to be buying that part to replace it. So open it up, might as well take the opportunity to inspect how my gears are meshing here, since I did a video a long time ago. This is the guy here that you can see the metal bushing in there with the keyway. I had messed this up and ruined this gear. This gear comes off. I had ruined this one because I had the gears meshed too tight, and Sheena's friend said to use a piece of paper to gap them. So I always cut up a bunch of pieces of paper and have it hanging around, but I just checked this guy out this way, and he feeds in there pretty nice. It crunches it up, but the gapping, I guess, is pretty good on it. So I'll have to get some more grease in there. I want to check the top one and see how it's doing. I'm looking at all the teeth and everything looks really good to me. Yeah, same thing. Whoa, it's going in the other gear. Come on out. Oh, great. Alright, well, back it out. So, that looks good. My advice, take the cap off. Make sure you've got grease on that. Check all your gears, how they're wearing. Good maintenance to be done. Alright, so next up, since I don't have the motor controller yet, I'll show everybody just kind of what I've done here to test out the motor to make sure it's okay, and I took the opportunity to clean up the lathe since it's all apart. So here's testing the motor. Alright, here, because I want to test the motor out. The controller board was shipped out Monday to the old UHF guy. He received it yesterday, Wednesday, in his mailbox about noonish. By 6 o'clock I received an invoice in the email from PayPal, $50 flat fee to repair the board, $6.80 return shipping. So he's shipped it out this morning. Hopefully I get it Friday. But if you go to his website, he says there's an area where he talks about checking your motor to make sure it's okay. It says it's not supposed to pull more than 1/4 amp. So if I just fire this up, now down here I've just got the power supply is just connected straight across the motor with jumpers. But you can see, take it up 8-9 volts. I'm pulling more than 1/4 amp. His webpage does say you have to remove the belt. It has to be unloaded. So I'm not pulling that much more, 100 milliamps more, because I've got a load on it. And if you put a load on it, it starts going up. I did completely remove the back cover that protects the motor, cleaned it up, got rid of the red tape, put some nice clear cellophane tape on it. But when I removed the cover, I'm looking at the motor and it did do the job. Covering these holes up, kept chips out of the motor, even though I had the back hole open. Motor looked clean. So I put tape on the back and the front holes, because like I said before, the bottom is wide open. There's plenty of airflow. That motor is not going to get hot. I'm not sure why they went through the extra trouble of punching all these holes in here. They don't really do anything. I did take the compressor and I blew the motor out left and right while it was running. I saw a little bit of the junk coming out of it. I'm not sure what it was, but it didn't change excuse me, it didn't change the current draw. So I'm not sure what I would be getting if I did remove the belt. I don't want to remove the belt. The reason I'm doing this is I wanted to check the motor that way, but I'm pretty sure after looking at the schematic of the motor controller, and I'll show you guys that schematics at some point, but I'm pretty sure if you're in a jam situation, you've stalled it out, if you hit the power switch, you're going to kill the MOSFETs on the motor controller. You need to use the pot. And thinking back, every time I've been in a stall where I'm threading, like I described, I've always used the pot. I have never, the speed control, I've never turned the power switch off. So, what I was trying to do, and unfortunately this can only deliver 3 amps, so what I was trying to do is see if I stall it, and it's pretty strong, I'm pulling the max of the power supply. I wish it went up higher, because what I wanted to do is see if I stalled the motor, how much current it's going to pull. The MOSFETs, there's 2 of them. Little bit slightly different extension on the part number. One is a 10 amp, one is a 14 amp. I don't know which MOSFET the old UHF guy is putting on them, but I wanted to see if this was stalled out, how much current is being pulled, because if I'm way underneath the limit of the MOSFET, then I know I don't have to panic. I've got all the time in the world to turn the speed control down and then clear the jam or whatever the problem was that stalled the motor. But I can't quite get there, so I'm not sure exactly how much current it's going to take. And this is DC, but when you're running the PWM, I can't put an amp meter in there and accurately tell how much current the motor is pulling if I put a load on it. But if I'm running it kind of full out a little bit, that's pretty slow. But I'm pulling half amp, and you just kind of put a load on it. I think turning something is going to put more of a load than I just did, but I saw it go to 1 amp. And I'm not sure why the fuse didn't blow when the motor stalled. So I'm probably going to play with the fuse and take it down until I can see where a load or kind of a close to a jam pops the fuse. Well, actually popping the fuse is going to be the same thing as throwing the switch. So I don't know here. The other thing I need to double check here is these grounds. I'm not sure whether you should really have a ground or not for various reasons, which I'll explain, but I want to finish analyzing the whole design, the schematic, to see what's going on. But my word of advice is probably don't panic, use the speed control, definitely do not hit the power switch because it will blow, just like it did mine, your MOSFETs, and then you'll be in for 50 bucks to get it repaired. Alright, and last here, I love how things snowball. I had bought a center punch, spring-loaded guy, which I can go snap, long time ago, but I was playing with the brass and I was thinking, I want to see if it's harder. And I brought this out because I figured this would be consistent, and I could punch the hard brass and then punch regular brass that I've got, that I know what it is, and just try to compare the dents. But the thing wasn't working, and I was playing on the edge of the bench back there trying to get it to go. Took it apart and realized that they put it together backwards, so I got it working. But every time I snapped it on the bench, I'd see poof, all this dirt would fly into the air and go back down into the carpeting. So I vacuumed it like 5 or 6 times, and I did it again, and poof, all the dirt. So off the Lowe's, all new carpeting on the bench, everything came off, and I'm glad I did it because the old stuff was really pretty bad. It was gross. So, but by popular demand, thank you very much for everybody that's left comments on what this new brass was that I got from Karachi. But here's a close-up of it, and so if anybody can identify it more. I'm still not too sure what it is. I'm beginning to start to get convinced that it's bronze, but so here's the video. Alright, Paul Coate asked me to email him a picture of this stuff, but I thought I'd just do it this way. Hopefully the light's enough. These are the long. This is one of the pieces. This is a 12-inch piece here that I cut it in half, the 2-foot length. These are the lines, though, that I'm talking about in here, and there's actually lines within it. So I have seen this on Google Images on something else a long time ago. I have no idea what, but all of it had the lines on it. And here's a piece of it that's been machined. So let me get this out of the picture. And this is regular 360 that I bought. So it's kind of, where's the piece that I sanded down here a little bit? This guy, I sanded a little bit. So I don't know. Do some other comparisons. There's that. This is 360 that was machined probably 2 weeks ago, so it's close. This may have oxidized a bit, but what I found to be really curious is, what was I doing? Okay, so I've got this piece. If I take 360, and here's another piece of 360. I don't know what that number is. I never saw that before. But take this guy and just tap the end of it. So I get one tone. Bring it in so you can see me doing it, I guess. If the piece is smaller, pitch goes higher. The kick is if I hit this real high. So I think this has been hardened, because if you hit the smaller diameter and the pitch goes higher, then the bigger diameter of the pitch should go lower. Interesting. So I'm pretty sure this is hardened. I don't know, I guess you can harden, temper, or whatever 360. But Paul, if you still want me to email you a picture, and here's another piece of 360. And that guy. So, oops, get it all in the picture. So that's just kind of my observation. Still not sure what it is. Why they would have hardened stuff over in Karachi in Pakistan, I don't know. But that's my observation for what it's worth.